Hello, my name is Ummayh Siddiqua. I'm one of the student board rep for Upper Darby High.
And I'm Curtis Everett, another school board student representative.
We just want to start off by saying thank you so much for all that you do for our community, and thank you so much for taking the time to come here today for this interview. First, could you please introduce yourself? What's your name and title with the township?
Absolutely. So first, again, thank you. Pleasure meeting the both of you. I appreciate the time to be here today. My name is Timothy Bernhardt, and I am the Superintendent of Police for Upper Darby Township.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Could you just tell us why you decided to become a police officer?
Absolutely. Interesting story. I really never had the desire to be a police officer when I was growing up. So I'm a Monsignor Bonner graduate, which is right down the road here. Born and raised in Drexel Hill. I played football at Monsignor Bonner, played all sports. When came time to graduate high school, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. So I always had interest in building, engineering, things of that sort. I went to Williamson College, which is in Middletown. I graduated Williamson and got hired with Pico Energy as a subcontractor. I was assigned to work at the nuclear facilities, Peach Bottom and Limerick. While I was there doing inspection work, I got sick. I developed cancer. I developed throat cancer, thyroid cancer, and it spread into my lungs. So while I was going through my therapy, my treatments, I kind of had to change course. I knew that wasn't an option for me to go back to work in the nuclear plants. A friend of mine was a police officer in Upper Darby Township and had suggested that I take the test. The test was coming up. I wasn't really sure. Him and I hauled. I took the test, and here I sit. So one of the greatest decisions I made, but I was never geared or I wasn't steered in that direction as a young adult. So I always tease, the profession found me, I didn't find the profession.
I really do love hearing these stories because I feel like as a high school senior, the pressure is really on us to decide what career we want to do. And just hearing these stories makes me feel reassured that I don't have to decide something right away.
You definitely do not, and I highly suggest that you don't. You have to experience a little bit of everything to really truly know what you want to do. And I became a police officer in my late 20s, and here I am now still doing it, and I love it. So life is full of experiences, and you have to experience everything. So don't ever limit yourself, please.
Can you please describe a day in your life? What's a typical day like?
Typical day for me. I'm an early riser. I don't sleep much. So I'm usually out the door 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, exercising. That's my time, my personal time, where no one's really bothering me, the phone's not ringing. I go through all my work emails. I kind of plan my day out on what meetings I want to have, who I want to speak to, where in the community, if I'm going to go out and where I'm going to talk. I do that, I come home, I have breakfast, I get my kids out the door, get them situated, and I'm usually in the office, the police department, by 7:30, 8 o'clock. We'll have a few department head meetings. After that, I'll go through the list of things that need to be done for the day. I usually attend the roll calls to make sure I see all the men and women before they go out, listen to them. It's kind of a Q&A to see what their concerns are. I respond to anybody that calls or shows up at the police department. I like to try and make a trip or two around the township a day just to see if I can meet anyone or engage anyone. COVID-19's kind of restricted that. And it's fielding phone calls and then supporting the men and women and putting them in the right positions for you, the residents, the school district, and everybody else, the constituents of Upper Darby Township.
It's only 24 hours in a day, so it's amazing that you can fit that all in one day. But we thank you for.
I always tease everyone: sleep's overrated. So don't sleep away. There's too much to do.
Could you tell us how you think your work impacts the community and the students at Upper Darby School District?
Absolutely. Not just myself, but all of the police officers that work for Upper Darby Township. We have a huge impact in all of the residents and all of the students within this township, especially the youth. So I'll go back and share a little of my early career. I was hired as a patrol officer, and I was assigned to the mountain bike division not long after patrol. And one of the biggest enjoyments out of that assignment was being in the high school all the time. Myself and my partner at the time, Dan Lanny, we would come to the high school every day and either have lunch or just sit and talk at the tables in the cafeteria. And we made such bonds and friendships. And I won't say their age and I won't give my age away, but I still see them today. And they're married, they have families, some live in the community and some don't. But that is that was huge for me and it was huge for them. And they tease me. They'll say, yo, Bernhardt, how you doing? How you doing? How you been? Where you going? What's going on? And that's 20 years ago now. So that's how we impact. We play a huge role as police officers in this township with the students and with the residents by engaging people. And I always say smiles are free all day, every day. Put one on your face. So when we're out there as police officers and we're serving the community, engaging with everyone, but especially the youth, the two of you and every other student from the elementary, the middle school to the high school, we want to set a good example for all the students. Like you just said, you're not really sure where you want to go, what you want to take. We're there as a Q&A too. Sometimes kids don't want to ask family members or parents a question, they might feel uncomfortable. That's what my goal is, to have all the police officers be there for everybody, anybody. If they engage us, we want to be able to have those questions or give good, sound advice on the questions that the community has, especially kids. We want to help you. I say we want to help everyone grow. We want everyone to grow and be successful. And that part of the job for all the officers is crucial. That's how we interact with the community. So I think we play a huge role and responsibility in that. And it's that engagement.
We really do appreciate that. I know, like, one of my favorite part of my morning routine was like when I was walking to school and I'd see the officers are already there helping us get into school, making sure that we're safe. We really do appreciate it.
Well, thank you, and we appreciate you saying hello. Back to that engagement, that's key. You know, there's a lot of people, we're in a difficult spot in this country right now, and it's for everybody. But for law enforcement especially, and for students and the communities, hi, how are you? Just a simple hi, how are you puts a smile on everyone's face. Just like us, we all have good days, bad days, but that engagement and that hi, how are you, that simple courtesy goes a long, long way. So thank you, we appreciate that.
What tips do you have for the community to live in a better community, a better, safer community?
We have one of the safest communities, thanks to the community and the police department. I always say we have a great relationship, and so many people contribute to that. And it's the residents, it's the police department, it's everybody, it's as a whole. The tips I have, the suggestions that I have is that we just unite. We are not all going to agree. We're not all always going to get along. But if we unite and we work to the common goal, the better for everyone, perfect win. It's a win-win for everyone. So that's the one tip I have. Safety, I could say that, hey, make sure your doors are locked, make sure your windows are locked, make sure your lights are on. But the tip that I have is that we all need to unite. This is our community. Whatever side of the creek we live on, whatever side of the tracks we live on, whatever it may be, wherever we come from, we need to unite. This is our community. It's all of our community. We share in it, the good and the bad. So if we all work together for the goal, it's a win-win.
That's great to hear you say that, because, you know, now more than ever, the police are looked at as a negative connotated entity, when we know that the relationships that we can build are more powerful than anything. And that's going to help us keep us safe. So we really appreciate that.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate that. And I'm going to rely on the two of you, as well as all the other students in this township, that, you know, it starts with us. And it starts by the word getting out and the smiles and the hi, how are you, and the working together and engaging. So we can only build on that, right? I always say forward steps, not backwards.
Right.
Definitely.
And last question, if you had one wish for the community in which you serve, what would that wish be?
That we could all realize the blessings we have and be grateful for those. Again, life throws some curveballs at us. Life's not always fair, but I think we all, whether we've realized it or not, take a deep look and just be grateful for all that we have. That's the one wish I would have for everybody moving forward, and every day, myself included. There's days where things just don't work out the way you want to, but you have to know and think positive. Positive things happen to positive people. So I think we all just need to be grateful for whatever it is that we have in our lives, and realize that there's someone else that's not as fortunate. And I think that if we are, sky's the limit.
Thank you so much for all that you've given us today, and for your constant work in our community. And we could not thank you guys enough.
Absolutely. I thank you. I appreciate you inviting me, and I enjoyed the time with the two of you.